I think that the biggest thing that came from this was that I was confident enough in my ability to manage my team and take care of things enough that I was actually willing to open a second location. Talking about opening a second location for literally, look, I'm getting teary-eyed, for literally so long. And it's just, we would like find spots that would be nice and cool. And it's like every single time I would find an excuse not to do it. And it was literally just because I was like in this grind of chasing things down, and I couldn't imagine doing that for twice the number of employees.
Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new around here, well, my name is Mac, and I'm a leadership coach, but I work specifically with first-time team managers and helping them to become confident and effective leaders. So it is time for another one of our New Manager Accelerator Student Spotlight videos. I'm so excited. I love this series. Like, I am in love with this series, and I know a lot of you are as well, because I read your comments in the comment section below, and I know that a lot of you are finding a lot of inspiration and the oomph that you need to continue going, and that's exactly why I share them. So today I'm spotlighting Sierra, which I'm so excited about. She is so freaking awesome. And this conversation is truly, truly heartwarming. It really, really is. I mean, if you've ever felt like you started off on the wrong foot, or that the team is kind of a hot mess, then I want you to listen to this conversation, because you'll see from the things that she implemented and from the things that she did, how she was able to turn the ship around. And I promise you, you will feel so much better after you watch it, because it was an incredible conversation. And to you, Sierra, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the channel. I had a fantastic time interviewing you. You're so freaking hilarious. But also, I just wanted to let you know that I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, and congratulations on being able to open up a new location and being able to fulfill a longtime dream of yours. I'm really so proud of you. All right, my friends, well, let's get started and listen in on my conversation with Miss Sierra. Thank you so much, Sierra, for joining us on the channel today. I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
Anything for you, Mac, anything for you.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so let's get started, because I know peeps on the channel are going to be super excited to hear your story and your journey, because it is just absolutely amazing. Just like looking back on our time together is always a joy for me, because I don't know, you've just done this complete 180. And so I'm excited to share your story. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do? Let's start there.
Yeah, sure. So I own an ice cream and coffee shop. It's a combo.
Yeah.
In New York. Yeah. People every single day. Keeping this place afloat.
Yeah. I love how humble you are. Yes, she does own an ice cream and coffee shop, but it is like honestly the best there is. I always love watching y'all's like pictures on like Instagram. I don't do like the Facebook, but on Instagram, whenever y'all post your pictures, I'm like, why am I not in upstate New York so I can enjoy this right now?
Yeah, we try to have fun and be super creative for sure. That's kind of what has set us apart from all of our competition. So we always try to like hire creative people first of all, because I'm semi-creative, but most of our ideas comes from all my team members. They're always coming up with cool, fun, new stuff, and then going out and taking a good picture of it. So
love that. I love that. Well, it looks really good. And I'm really tempted to just take a trip just for it. So
for the last stand.
Anyways, so much fun. Okay. So why don't you tell me then, Sierra, a little bit about, let's say, your beginnings as a manager. What was it like for you? What were some of the struggles that you had when you first jumped into a leadership role?
I would say, so when I first opened the business, I was here like 24/7. And so managing people was a little bit easier because I really was able to connect with them, because I was here doing the job with them every single day. They could see that I was willing to like do every single thing I was asking them to do. And so back when I first started, managing actually seemed easier than it did when I was like trying to step away a little bit more, which is ironic, but I felt like I was a little better at it back then. My hardship with managing was keeping drama at bay in the restaurant industry is very, very hard. Or at least I made it seem hard. And so when I was here all the time, no one really had the opportunity to do that because, you know, the owner was there all the time and so they just didn't. But as I was trying to step away more, that became much, much harder. So I guess it was easy at first. And then I kind of made this transition of stepping away more because I was trying to like really work on my business. That was when our sales started increasing a lot more. So we like got busier as I was stepping away.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But the reason we got busier is because I was putting more focus on like marketing and our numbers and all those things that I needed to pay attention to rather than serving the customers. And so that is where I like really started to notice like, oh crap, this is now getting really difficult and it's crumbling in front of me. And then I thought it was going to be a really good idea to hire an assistant manager so that I could help keep an eye on everyone, what they were doing and all of that on a day-to-day basis. And because I didn't know how to even manage the team, I couldn't teach anyone how to manage the team. I couldn't manage the manager very well. And that's how I found Mac. YouTubing someone to help me right now. I found you like I wasn't even like, I didn't know that like a mentorship or anything was even a thing. I was just YouTubing a video to help me. Nick, my significant other, picks on me because I YouTube everything. Like if I don't know how to something or fix something, or I want like my kids to have a better tour chart or something, like I'm on YouTube.
That's me too. That's why I chose YouTube as a platform. I'm like, well, I love this platform. I should be on it.
Yeah. How do I manage people?
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you tell me then, and I know you kind of touched on it, but why don't you tell me why you decided then to reach out? Why were you like, okay, I got to reach out to Mac to get some help? What was the trigger, or what happened for you that you were like, I can't just continue to do this on my own?
So probably most people stalk your YouTube channel for like months before they reach out, but not Sierra. I binge watched your YouTube channel for probably like 4 hours and then was reaching out.
4 hours?
Yeah, like literally I found you one night. I binge watched your videos and then I was like, at the end of every video, you know, you always like let us know about your program. And I was like, yeah, I need to know more about this right now. Right now. It took me like 4 hours of video to figure that out. But honestly, I just knew I needed more help because yes, the YouTube videos were like very, very helpful, but I think that this is like maybe a me thing, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate, but I just felt like I needed to tell you my exact situation.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like I could apply a lot of your videos to my situation, but you know, there's always like those, but this is happening too. And I wanted that like confirmation from you that like, you're like, yep, you still got to follow this path. You're right, on the right path. So I don't know if there was necessarily a specific instance.
Okay.
I know I was on YouTube because I felt like I couldn't get a grasp on the shop, almost couldn't survive. I was feeling like I needed to be here 24/7 in order to have everything under control. And that's how I knew that I wasn't managing people very well, because literally I would take one afternoon off and then I would come in the next morning and I would hear all about like either what wasn't done from people's responsibilities, what drama happened yesterday, who's mad at who for not doing this or that, or it was a customer heard people talking about this behind the window, like, do you remember me talking about that?
That's why my face.
Well, just like talking about like personal inappropriate things.
I remember that.
They're like working with their buddies, but I couldn't get it in their head that like the customers can
hear right there. Yeah.
And we need to be focused on them. I don't know. I needed to be here all the time. And as soon as I would walk in, like even just operationally, like I would walk in the middle of the rush and the place was just in shambles. Like nothing, like things were just, it was a mess. Things were all over the place. Everyone was stressed. Like everyone that would work, they would have 4 people on, which was plenty of people for the amount of customers that we had. I wasn't leaving them shorthanded. But everyone was just so stressed. And so I learned that I needed to manage people's emotions better so that they weren't so stressed, because as soon as one person got stressed, the whole team's stressed. Yeah. I needed to get the drama under control some way, somehow, which felt impossible because I felt like I was just like, how I would deal with drama was literally like trying to do it myself. Like, hey, heard you didn't do all your filling yesterday. I'm going to need you to do all your filling today, please. Like, which I learned was not the right way to do that.
Don't worry.
So it was no wonder that I was like chasing after all these problems every single day. And I was having trouble doing what I needed to do, working on my business so that we could get more customers, because I was just constantly putting out little fires all day long.
All day long. Yeah. Whew, girl, that's your stories, though, I have to say. Her stories, y'all, are the best.
You're welcome, I guess.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying is you couldn't get yourself out of the day-to-day grind, right? And that things were really, really messy on the team. And it was obviously affecting them, affecting you. Things were not in
customers. Like, I mean, literally, I know for sure, like customers would reach out and tell me, just little things that would happen that were clearly impacted by, my team's attitude, or all of these little things just adding up, where when a customer would come to me with what happened, I would know exactly it was because all this was happening. So it was literally affecting everything that had to do with my business.
Well, I don't want everyone to think that this is like bad. I know it sounds bad, but it does get better. So why don't you share with us what's changed as a result of joining the New Manager Accelerator program for you?
I think that the biggest thing that came from this was that I was confident enough in my ability to manage my team and take care of things enough that I was actually willing to open a second location. Talking about opening a second location for literally, look, I'm getting teary-eyed, for literally so long. And it's just, we would like find spots that would be nice and cool. And it's like every single time I would find an excuse not to do it. And it was literally just because I was like in this grind of chasing things down, and I couldn't imagine doing that for twice the number of employees, 2 different buildings. And it's like, we've only had the second location for like a week and a half now, and I'm putting out fires every single day, but they're not fires with my employees. They're equipment breaking down.
Stinking equipment.
All the while that I'm running around fixing things all day for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Or getting inventory because I screwed up inventory for 2 locations or whatever. Those are me problems. My team is still executing everything perfectly every single day. And even with this huge transition, they have like took it on with excitement, and they're all working more hours than they ever have before. And they might not want to be working as many hours, and we're like working on getting them all, but they do it literally with no complaints, like no complaints. They might have a extra new person or two on compared to normal, because we're obviously training a bunch of new people to be able to have enough people at both spots. And they're like, at literally every single one of them are just like training new people with no complaints, working a shift with half new people, half senior people, and they don't mind at all. They're taking it on with like the best teamwork. In the past, if I would have pulled something like this off, I would have been getting a phone call every single hour of the day, complaining about how terribly things were going, or how unfair it is that they have a half new people working or whatever. But I don't know. And literally every single new employee now, they're like, at my last job, I couldn't wait for a break, but here, like, I just don't even want to take a break. Like, can we just not do break?
Sarah,
I'm like, so sweet, but
look at what you built. That's incredible.
It seriously, it really, really is. Like, literally every single time I think about it, especially now that I'm just like emotional that we have like come so far, and like it's happening right in front of my eyes right now. Thinking about how all of that happened and how much work went into it. But yeah, it's so cool.
So good. It's so good. I got emotional hearing you say that, because I did, because
ages.
I know. I just remember what it was like for you when you first, when you first started. So you just, wow, your trajectory has been so cool. It's been really cool. The other day, or actually a little while ago, you sent me a screenshot of a message that you got from one of your team members, where she literally expressed that you are the best manager that she's ever had, right? Can you talk about that and kind of how that made you feel?
I'm too emotional now. We should have done this before I start crying. Yeah. That was so cool. Like, I literally immediately screenshotted it and sent it to you because I was so excited. What's so cool about that is that Katie was on my team already. When there was a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And when everything was falling apart, and when I was reaching out to Mac, like, Katie was already on the team. And I'm sure back then she could feel my effort and desire to have it not be like that. But I do think that, she truly got to be a part of, and that's not the only message I've gotten, like her and another one of my girls, like they really truly got to be a part of the full transition. Right. And I mean, a few people I still have lots of team members from that time, but they're just like a little bit older. So they really gotten to experience like having other managers, versus the others was for the most part like their first or second job. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think we can all relate to just having like not, just mediocre managers, or maybe even poor managers. And they all kind of make us into what we are, I guess. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like she could really feel. I told my whole team that I was taking like on a new program, and I was learning how to manage people. And after we didn't have an assistant manager anymore, like people were really interested in being the assistant manager. And I was like, we're not doing anything until I learn how to be manager. Pump the brakes right now. And obviously, like, there were going to be a lot of changes happening. And so I was just transparent with everyone. I was like, hey, I'm in this new program. So we're going to be starting one-on-ones. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. So I was just like preparing everyone. So I really feel like she could feel the changes happening and all of that. And I think in her message, I don't think that she thought that I was bad before, because I do think that she could feel that I didn't want it to be like that. And I was trying to make it be like that. But I think that her seeing like the effort that I was putting in to make things better, like it wasn't me just like scrambling every day to try to make things better. Like I was actually doing something, putting in the work, like we're gonna do this. Like actually trying to educate myself on how to be better. Yeah, that was a very, very, very cool message. That was like the first like real, okay, I'm making an impact here. Like, we're getting there.
Well, you know what, you and me both, because when you sent it to me, I was like, yes, okay, Sarah's making an impact. I'm making it, like, we're both like, this is awesome. This is awesome. I love it. Thank you. I just thank you so much for sending that to me. It helped me to keep going too. So I really appreciated you sending that. So there's a lot of managers that I think can relate to where you were at. Just the other day in one of the group sessions, somebody actually mentioned how she felt like she had made a lot of mistakes and that she felt like she was climbing her way out. And I remember you saying, like, I can definitely relate to that. And I know that there's going to be managers watching who will feel the same way. They'll feel like they'll be watching this thinking, there's no, like, that's cool that it worked for Sierra, but I made too many mistakes. I just don't think it's gonna make a difference for me. What would you say to them?
So when I first started this program, I had a lot of very, very tough team members, and I felt like I had already like let them get away with too much, that they were never going, and this is where I really related to her the other day in the session, is that I felt like there was no way that I could turn around how people felt about me as their manager. Like I didn't think that I could. I think that they respected me in some aspects, but then not others. It's not like they like blatantly wouldn't do what I asked them to do, but like, I mean, I would ask them to not have any more drama, and then I would still turn around and there would be more drama, you know? So like, there was still just this little disconnect. And I do remember feeling like really defeated. Like there was no way I was going to turn it around, but, oh gosh, I really feel like I did. I really feel like I just let people know that things were going to change, and that I really truly like followed through. I remember how much support I needed in following through. Like I was messaging Mac all the time, being like, okay, this happened. Like I have to do this, right? Now I have to do this, right?
Yeah, it's the follow.
I really needed that like little second wind of encouragement all the time. And I know for sure at first I would like throw them off by like following through on my expectations. They would be surprised by it or whatever, but it only took just a few times of doing that. And at the time I had team members that would run and go tell everyone that I was holding them accountable. So that kind of helped spread the word really fast that we were holding people accountable now.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I only had to like really go through it with one or two people before everyone kind of got the message. I'm not sure if that's how the experience would be for everyone, or you would maybe have to hold each person accountable individually, but I really think I was able to turn things around and start feeling more confident in doing that, like just after a short couple months. Like I remember those stomach aches I would get before having to do it every single time because I was so nervous. But it was all worth it. And there's my story about my one team member after working here who said, it was still one of the best jobs that she ever had. And
Right.
even though I felt like our time ended from me holding her accountable all the time, but still she had told someone else that it was still one of the best jobs that she had ever had, like reflecting back on it. So, I don't know, still worth it and possible, I guess, the point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely possible. So what would you say to a manager who's sitting on the fence about joining the program? What would you say?
Get off the fence. I mean, you can sit and watch the YouTube videos for days on end if you want. And I do think that they really helped me. I will say that. And I mean, there were a couple people that I have found on YouTube or just like little short TikTok videos or whatever that I think would help me survive the day and make a better impact tomorrow. What made the big difference for me is being held accountable by someone.
Mm.
And I know for me, I don't have a manager. So I'm sure that business owners can really relate to not having someone there to hold them accountable. But even I think some of the other people in the program, like their managers are not really there holding them accountable. So I'm
You're
sure
not
a lot
there
of
for them.
did that too.
Yeah.
And then even just like thinking back to jobs that I've had, like I've never, the one management position that I had somewhere, I only had one employee and he was like amazing and I never had to like do anything. But I could imagine that some of the things that I sit and tell you guys all in our sessions isn't something I would necessarily want to like sit and be honest with my boss about, because sometimes we're like kind of being vulnerable about where we have failed or could have done something better, or telling a story where maybe we should have done this but instead we did this or whatever. And I think being like totally transparent with your boss sometimes about that can be difficult.
Yeah.
So I think either if you're a small business owner and don't have anyone to hold you accountable, that as far as like managing your people goes, that having a group of people to hold you accountable and then Mac messaging you on the day that you were supposed to do something to make sure you actually did it is really helpful. And then secondly, even if that's not the case for you and you do have upper management to hold you accountable, that I think that this program gives you like a space to be vulnerable and honest about a situation, and be held accountable in a different way than I think a lot of managers can give you. And I know, Mac, you had a really good manager that might have done that for you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are lacking that.
Yeah.
So, and just like for me, I've just re-listened to like your full-on lessons. Like, I mean, you will do like, a few minute YouTube video, and I still watch all of your YouTube videos because I think that they're really helpful in a different way than the program.
Yeah.
But you take that and like expand on it into like, a 45-minute lesson. And I just like to like re-listen to those because there's so many just small nuggets in there. And then on top of that, in our sessions, there's also so many small nuggets in there and so many like true, real life stories that we can all
Learn from.
relate. Like, even if I'm quiet for an entire session, and I know everyone in the session says this, like, even if I'm quiet for an entire session because I don't have anything particular going on that week that I want to talk about, I always just learn so much and can relate it back to a situation that's happened to me in the past. Or I just try to soak it all in because I'm sure that something like that's going to happen to me in the future. So I could probably go on for an hour about what makes a difference joining the program, but I guess maybe you guys should all like text me about that or something because
Thank you so much for sharing your story and for spending the time with us today. I know that you're going to inspire a lot of managers and even business owners that are watching. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here.
I hope so, because it's truly like truly true. We turned things around for me, and I know for everyone else, you've made a big impact on how they do things on a daily basis and how we're all just, gosh, even just by every single day, now that I'm like thinking on it and reflecting, sorry to like hype you up even more, because
this is awkward.
How stressed I was and like crying to Nick every single day, like maybe not sometimes actually crying, but I just remember coming home to Nick like every single day and just explaining what happened that day and what are we going to do now. And literally just every single day, I felt like I just wanted to not do it anymore. And now, of course, we all still have our hard days. And of course, we still have to hold people accountable. And of course, before I have to have that conversation, I'm still going to be nervous. Yeah. But because I have a handle on it now and I'm doing it every single day and I'm not ever playing catch up anymore, my day to day is just so much easier and less stressful. Just way less stress. At first, when I was making that transition, it was probably more stressful because I wasn't avoiding anything anymore. I wasn't,
right.
I was pretending like things weren't happening or just going home and complaining about it, but then getting over it the next day and pretending like it didn't happen. But now I don't pretend like anything doesn't happen. I have a handle on it all. So it's less stressful, not because I'm ignoring it, but it's less stressful because it's all handled and under control. So
I'm so proud of you.
And now leads. That was a big transition too.
That's right. Now you have team leads.
Yeah. Just so cool and helpful for the day-to-day stuff. And it's a whole new transition that Mac's been helping me through so greatly. But
I'm so proud of you. My God.
I'm laughing, but I felt like that was necessary. So
thank you, Sarah. Thank you again for being here with us. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
All really quite because of you, like quite literally because of you.
It's because of your work. No, it is. You did the work, like you said, right? The follow through was half the battle, right? Because obviously I can give you all the training, I can give you the guidance, specific guidance based on your situation, but you were the one that followed through. And that's why you were able to see it through to the other side. And so that's a testament to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't say that it's easy. You definitely don't make things easy, but worth it. Like seriously, it was worth every minute. Like like a month ago, I downloaded the podcast download that we have because I wasn't addicted enough to re-listening to the lessons apparently. So now like literally I'll just like random things will come up and I like to just click on your podcast and just remind myself, have a little Mac in my ear of how to deal with it.
I'm so sorry. I don't know like how y'all can do that over and over again. Like
I don't think I'm the only one. I think other people.
No, you're not. You're not. Yeah. So many people reach out like in the Slack channel, they'll be like, oh, I re-listened to this lesson. I'm like, how can you possibly listen to me that many times?
I love it. Like, I love it. I'm sure for you, it's probably because you're like, I couldn't listen to my own voice that long. Exactly. But for all the rest of us, we don't mind. We love it.
Well, that's good.
And now that I've seen them so many times, like I've seen, like, I can literally visualize your little slides that you showed.
Right.
And like sometimes I'm like, oh wait, she's updated this since then. Like now I go back because I don't know what she's showing right here.
Oh my God, why are you like this? Did you see that in one of the lessons I updated it to like coffee shop peeps?
I did.
Yeah. I was like, Sierra, this is for Sierra.
I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, so much fun. Thank you so much, Sierra. I appreciate you. I'm crying.
So, did I not fully tell you that it was going to be a freaking awesome conversation? I mean, it was so good. So good. Anyways, if you are looking for results just like Sierra, you know, if you resonated with a lot of what she was going through, a lot of her struggles, and you want to get through this with some help, then know the New Manager Accelerator program is here for you. It's designed for you. And so definitely want to encourage you to book a call with me so that we can learn a little bit more about you and what your goals are and if you would be a fit for the program. All right, my friend, thank you so much for watching this week's video. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Don't forget to keep smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.